Hello students, welcome to my channel SDK Pathshala. Today we are in the second part of this chapter acid, base and salt. And today we will start from the identification test for nitric acid, sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid through weight test. So at first we need to identify, or how can you identify nitric acid, that is HNO3 nitric acid. Identification of nitric acid through weight test. What test? Weight test. So in this case, why this is known as weight test? Because in this case different solutions are mixed, so aqueous substances are there, so that's why it is known as weight test. So in this test, what we need to do, a little amount of dilute acid you need to take in a test tube. Next, you need to take freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution and then add that solution into the dilute acid. Okay, so at first you need to do it. Now concentrated, you need to take concentrated sulfuric acid in another test tube, then concentrated sulfuric acid you can pour it into the liquid in a certain manner. What is that manner? That you need to pour it slowly on the another tube from the wall, so that it slowly touches the mixture of FeSO4 and HNO3, and you can see there is a brown ring formed in the junction of the two liquid. If it does, or it occurs that brown ring forms, it means that there is a there is nitric acid present in that test tube. So at first what you need to do, you need to add ferrous sulfate to the acid, that is nitric acid. So the unknown acid is here nitric acid. So at first, so what will be the equation? 6 FeSO4 plus 2HNO3. Okay, so freshly prepared ferrous sulfate is added to that acid, which is nitric acid, and then H2SO4 is added. Okay, by the side slowly. So you will get a compound 3Fe2SO4 whole thrice plus water and NO, and then the brown ring formation occurs. Like brown ring formation occurs, that chemical reaction will be FeSO4 reacts with NO and water to form penta-aqua nitrosoferrous sulfate. This is the compound of the brown ring. So penta-aqua nitrosoferrous sulfate, H2O whole 5, that's why it is penta-aqua nitrosoferrous, that is NO nitrosoferrous sulfate, then SO4. So this is the compound which forms the brown ring. Okay, this is the thing produced in the brown ring. Okay, next what you need to do? Next, we need to identify the presence of sulfuric acid. We need to identify the presence of sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Okay, presence of sulfuric acid. how will you identify the presence of sulfuric acid? So in a test tube, you need to give, or you need to take the solution of the acid, solution of the an unknown acid. Okay, so in a test tube, you need to take the solution of the unknown acid. That unknown acid is H2SO4. Okay, now unknown acid is H2SO4. So this, in this case, in the test tube, barium chloride solution is added. Then you need to add barium chloride. Barium chloride solution is BaCl2 solution. Okay, then you need to shake the test tube. After shaking for a while, you will see there is a white precipitate formed at the bottom of the test tube. Where at the bottom of the test tube there is a white precipitate formed. That white precipitate, if that white precipitate is formed, it means, or it indicates that H2SO4 is there in the test tube. Okay, so that white precipitate is none other than BaSO4, that is barium sulfate. Okay, that is barium sulfate. So what will be the reaction? The reaction will be like BaCl2, which when react with H2SO4, then it produced BaSO4 and HCl. This is a kind of double displacement. This is a kind of double displacement reaction. So if that white precipitate forms, then the unknown solution taken in the test tube must be H2SO4. Hence we can identify the presence of H2SO4 in the test tube. Okay, next, how will you identify the presence of hydrochloric acid? That is presence of HCl, presence of hydrochloric acid. So similarly, you need to take the solution, unknown solution of the acid in a test tube. So in a test tube, you need to take the unknown solution of hydrochloric acid. Okay, so HCl is taken. Next, in that test tube, silver nitrate solution is added. What solution? Silver nitrate. Silver nitrate is AgNO3. So silver nitrate solution is added. Okay, then what you need to do? You need to shake the tube. And when you shake, after shaking for a while, you see that there is a cardi white precipitate forms at the bottom, like previous. A cardi white substance is formed at the bottom. Okay, and that substance is insoluble in nitric acid, but it dissolves in ammonium hydroxide due to the formation of a complex salt. Okay, so this proves that there is HCl present in the solution. Okay, so what will be the reaction? The reaction will be when AgNO3, that is silver nitrate, is added to HCl, it produces AgCl. Okay, so that AgCl is the white precipitate. This is the AgCl. Okay, this is AgCl. Okay, and HNO3 produce. Okay, but AgCl is remain undissolved in HNO3. So how to identify? Next, if you put AgCl, that white cardi precipitate, AgCl, and the reaction of ammonium hydroxide, so AgCl dissolves in ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH. Okay, then a complex salt is produced, that is AgNH3 whole twice Cl and water, and that salt can dissolve in water. So that's why we can get a clear solution. And this is known as, or this salt is named as diamine silver chloride. Okay, so this is how you can identify HCl as well. So here are the three processes you need to do if you have to find out what acid is present in the solution, or if to identify HNO3, SO4 or HCl, you need to do these three weight tests. And if you get the result like this, then you can identify the presence of acid in those. Okay, next we need to know about reaction of metals with acid and alkali. Different metal reacts with different acid and alkali to produce different things. Like when aluminium reacts with dilute and concentrated hydrochloric acid, it forms aluminium chloride and hydrogen. Like Al, when react with HCl, it produces aluminium chloride, AlCl3, and hydrogen gas is also produced. Okay, and when aluminium react with hot concentrated sulfuric acid, it oxidized aluminium to aluminium sulfate, and sulfur dioxide and steam produce. Okay, so when aluminium react with hot and concentrated sulfuric acid, aluminium react with hot and concentrated sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, it produce, or it oxidized aluminium, because it is an oxidizing agent, highly oxidizing agent, and hot and concentrated, so highly oxidizing agent. This produce Al2SO4 whole thrice, aluminium sulfate and sulfur dioxide and water. Sorry, SO, it will be SO2, sulfur dioxide and water is produced. Okay, so this is the basic reaction of aluminium with hydrochloric acid and with H2SO4. Next, with nitric acid. Let us assume nitric acid. At low temperature, concentrated nitric acid makes aluminium inactive or passive by oxidizing its surface. So it doesn't react. But nitric acid can be stored in aluminium vessel. So, okay, but it passively, it is said that to be due to the formation of the thin layer of aluminium oxide, the surface of the metal, you can keep HNO3 on a particular bottle made up of aluminium. So dilute nitric acid partially doesn't react with aluminium when it is cold. However, dilute nitric acid dissolves impure aluminium slowly with the formation of aluminium nitrate. Okay, so the formation of aluminium nitrate, Al plus HNO3 will give you Al2O3 plus NO2 plus H2O. Okay, so this is the reaction. Next, with NaOH, with a base, aluminium reacts with hot caustic soda or hot sodium hydroxide solution, and it forms sodium aluminate salt and evolves hydrogen gas is evolved. So when aluminium reacts with hot and concentrated caustic soda, or you can say sodium hydroxide. So what is the formula of sodium hydroxide? NaOH. Okay, so it produces sodium aluminate. What is the formula of sodium aluminate? NaAlO2, and it also evolves hydrogen gas. Up arrow means hydrogen gas is evolved. Okay, so these are the reaction of aluminium with different acid. Like this, different other metals like zinc also react with hydrochloric acid, H2SO4, HNO3 and NaOH to produce different kind of salt like this. Okay, so go through the chapter carefully and you will get the different reaction with different reaction of zinc with HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 and NaOH. Like that, copper also react with hydrochloric acid, H2SO4 and HNO3 to produce different salt, and it liberate water also. Okay, so these are the things in this chapter. Next, chemical property. We need to know about the chemical properties of NaOH. What chemical properties of NaOH? So NaOH is a strong base or is an alkali because it dissolves in water and produce OH minus ion and completely dissociate. So it is very strong. So as it is very strong, so it reacts with H2SO4 and produce salt and water, because we know that when acid react with base, then it produce salt and water. So NaOH, sodium hydroxide, reacts with H2SO4 to produce Na2SO4 salt and water. Okay, so these things are formed. Reaction of ammonium salt. When ammonium salt react with NaOH to produce a salt NaCl and NH3 is liberated. Reaction with different metallic salt like FeCl2, ferrichloride react with NaOH to form different hydroxide and also the salt are produced. Okay, so these are the reaction of different things with NaOH, that is the base, that is the strong base. Reaction of some non-metal. Let us see the reaction of non-metal. Like when white phosphorus is boiled with a strong aqueous solution of NaOH and in absence of air or oxygen, okay, then phosphine gas is evolved. What gas? Phosphine gas is evolved. So what will be the reaction? Will be P4 when react with HNO3. So it produce what? Phosphine gas, that is PH3 and PO2 also formed. Okay, sodium hypophosphite is formed in the solution. Sodium hypophosphite. This chemical is known as sodium hypophosphite. Okay, so this is the reaction of phosphorus. Like that, this concentrated or cold dilute solution of NaOH react with that fluoride, sodium fluoride, that is fluorine, to form sodium fluoride. Okay, and fluorine monoxide is also formed. Okay, chlorine gas reacts with cold and dilute solution of NaOH to form sodium chloride and sodium hypochlorite. Okay, NaOCl, ঠিক আছে, sodium hypochlorite. Reaction with different oxides of metal, like different oxides of metal. So I am giving you example of one and you need to read the others. Same kind of reaction. So reaction of different oxide of non-metal. Suppose different oxide of non-metal means, let us consider CO2. CO2 is the oxide of carbon. So carbon is non-metal. So CO2 reacts with NaOH to form salt of sodium, that is Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is a salt, and H2O. Okay. So these are the reaction like that. SO2 also react with NaOH, P2O5 also react with NaOH. Okay. Now there are a few safety measures to use acid and alkali in lab or in any other sector. Okay, what are the precautions you need to measure? Direct contact with acid and alkali is associated with different kind of injuries. So there are different safety measures you need to take, or if they goes into the eyes certainly, then what you should do. In case of acid in eyes, you should wash it with water for a number of time, and 1% and with the wash your eyes with the 1% sodium bicarbonate solution. Okay, and if alkali goes in your eye, then you should wash your eyes with water repeatedly, and then you need to wash your eyes with 1% of boric acid solution. Okay, so these are the things you need to do in case of acid and alkali in your eyes or in anyone's eyes. Now there are a few things also that pH scale or pH value. We know now what is pH value. pH value indicates the acidic or basic property of a solution. So different things are done according to the pH value. So why pH is so important? pH value, getting to know the pH value is why so important. Suppose you are a farmer and you need to cultivate something in the field or in your field, but at first you need to identify whether the soil is acidic or basic, because due to that or heavy acidity or heavy basic nature, the crops will not grow well. So that's why you need to check whether it is acidic or basic, and you need to take the necessary action after getting to know the or after get to know the result. So that's why you need to find out the pH value of the soil. pH also pH of our mouth also helps to provide or help you a particular data that why tooth decay occurs. Okay, so pH value is a very important thing, or pH value you need to, or we need to know pH value of different things for different reasons. Like soils are having pH value in the alkaline region. If you find your soil having a pH value in the alkaline region or highly acidic region, then they are not favorable for growth of the plants. Hence, you need to treat a soil with quicklime if it is, or chalk or quicklime if it is acidic, and if it is basic, then you need to treat it with particular acid. And with that acid, from where you will get that acid? From the manure we will get the acid. Okay, so due to this process, or whenever you need to add the basic substance, if the soil is acidic, then you need to add the basic substance like quicklime or slaked lime. And this process is known as liming of soil. This process is known as liming of soil. Next, we need to know about oxide. Oxides of, or what are oxide? There are few oxides. When different material reacts with water, they form different oxides. So different oxides are there. At first, acidic oxide. What do you mean by acidic oxide? Acidic oxides are the non-metallic oxide which reacts with base to give salt and water. Like carbon oxidized when reacts with oxygen to form CO2, and then CO2 in aqueous solution generate H2CO3, that is carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid reacts with different other bases to produce salt and water. So acidic or acidic oxides are generally non-metallic oxides. Okay. Next is basic oxide. What are the basic oxide? Different oxides of metals are basic oxide, basic in nature, like CaO. CaO is a basic oxide. Okay, MgO is also a basic oxide, because when MgO reacts with water, it produces milk of magnesia, that is Mg. Sorry, this will be Mg. So MgOH whole twice. It is milk of magnesia. Okay, so this reacts with acid and produce salt and water, and this milk of magnesia is used as an antacid. This is white in color and this is used as antacid. Okay, and amphoteric oxide, what do you mean by amphoteric oxide? Amphoteric oxides are the oxides of zinc and aluminium. Both the oxides react with acid and base to form salt and water. Let us see an example, like zinc oxide, ZNO, reacts with HCl and to produce zinc chloride and H2O. Whereas ZNO again react with a base NaOH or alkali NaOH to produce sodium zincate, that is also a salt, and also water. So zinc oxide and aluminium oxide reacts with both acid and base to produce salt and water. Salt and water. Okay. So in this chapter, another thing we need to know, that is different kind of salt. So what are salts? Salts are the compound. What are salts? Let us write salt. So what are salts? Salts are the compound which is formed. When it is formed? When there is a partial or complete replacement of the replaceable hydrogen atom or atoms of an acid by a metal, or a group of elements behaves as a metal or a cation. Suppose H2SO4. H2SO4, this is an acid. So here how many hydrogen are there? 2 hydrogen are there. 2 hydrogen atoms are there. So if these 2 hydrogen atom or 1 hydrogen atom is replaced by a metal or a cation, then different kind of salts are produced. So different kind of compounds are produced. These compounds are known as salt. So when the hydrogen, because according to Arrhenius concept, acids are hydrogen containing compound. So when this hydrogen from an acid is partially or fully replaced by a metal atom or a cation, then the compound such forms are known as salt. Like for example, when sodium reacts with H2SO4, two kind of salt produce, Na, sodium sulfide and sodium bisulfide. Okay, so NaHSO4, or it can produce Na2SO4. Okay, so these are the salts. Okay, so now salt can be categorized into 3 main categories. That is, at first, normal salt. What do you mean by normal salt? Do you know what is normal salt? Normal salt, when the hydrogen, all the hydrogen atoms, all the replaceable hydrogen atoms of an acid is replaced by the atom of a metal or a cation, then it is known as normal salt. Okay, so Na2SO4 will be a normal salt. Na2SO4. Why? Because all the hydrogen of H2SO4 is replaced by sodium. So it is a normal salt. But whenever it comes to acid salt, then there is a partial replacement of hydrogen. So in H2SO4, how many hydrogen atoms are there? 2. If one hydrogen atom is replaced by sodium, then sodium bisulfate NaHSO4 produced. So one hydrogen is replaced by sodium, so that's why it is an acid salt. Okay, and another salt is there, it is known as basic salt. What are basic salt? The salts which are produced by the partial replacement of hydroxyl group of a polyacidic base by an acid on acid radical are known as basic salt. Like MgOH, when react with, or MgOH whole twice is react with HCl, it produce MgOHCl and H2O. So this MgOHCl is a basic salt, The salt which are produced by the partial replacement of the hydroxyl group. Like for example, if I go to the basic salt, so you can get MgOH whole twice. So how many OH? Or hydroxyl group is the, how many hydroxyl radical are there? OH. How many? 2. Now if when it is react with acid HCl, then it produce, or this OH is replaced by chlorine. So MgOHCl and H2O. So these type of salts are known as basic salt, where OH is replaced by the acidic radical. Acid radical is Cl here. So these kind of salts are known as basic salts. These kind of salts are known as basic salts. Okay. So for this chapter, this much. Hope you have find this video helpful in understanding this topic. And for self-assessment, you can click on the link which will be given in the description box of the video, and after attempting the test you can go through your score as well as the correct answer by clicking on view result. Thank you.